Oh, wait, baby. Oh, hold on now. Wait, baby. Oh, wait. Hey, wait a minute, Hold on, Hold on.
Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex. Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex. Hey y'all, what's up? This your boy Johnny. I'm back in the game. Hey guys, come check us out. 1815 East Broadway, North Little Rock, Arkansas. I got the best deals in town. $19.99 cash. Yes, you heard it. I got deals for $19.99 cash, riding and driving. You can come and drive these cars anywhere you want to. Come check us out. Like I said, I'm back. $19.99 specials. Brooks Autoplex. 1815 East Broadway, North Little Rock, Arkansas. We got them deals. Come check us out.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lil Johnny, aka JB the Plug. We have all of you guys' needs and wants. And if your budget a little bit bigger than $19.99, I know y'all love them fast cars and that luxury, so I'm bringing in the Dodge Charger, the Hemis, the Chrysler 300s, Mustangs, Camaros, you name it. We got it, been had it, and getting some more. So stay tuned. We got the Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, BMWs, Mercedes, domestic and foreign cars. Come get good with the best deals in the city. Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex.
1815 East Broadway, North Little Rock, Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex, Brooks Autoplex.
Oh, wait, baby. Brooks Autoplex. Shout out to my dog, Johnny Brooks. Brooks Autoplex. Make sure you tap in. Hey, go get you some car, man. I know you tired of walking. Go get you a car from my dog, Johnny Brooks. I can't even talk. Go get you a car from Johnny Brooks. Brooks Autoplex. I don't know what. You know what I can't talk tonight, y'all? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can't talk. I'm flustered. I'm a tad bit frustrated. A little bit. But that's all right. I'm gonna get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station. Baby, this Nate Logic. We baby. Hey, listen, man. I'm not gonna just say Pine Bluff. I'm not gonna just say Arkansas. I'm gonna say a true American legend. He just gave me a little game about some information, and what it happens is that he's one of our elders, and regardless of how some may feel, he's still a man who is old reverence. He is a man of a lot of wisdom. It may be some things that you may not agree with him on. It may be some things that he might be a tad bit disrespectful about. But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He's still a man who has done a lot for our community as a whole, and not just locally, but just anyone who's touched him. And his seeds, his fruit, the fruit of his labor has touched us all. And I am grateful for him to bless us on the Nate Logic Show, the Real Underground Radio Station. Ladies and gentlemen, baby, it's my dog, my homeboy, the big homie, the OG, the man of wisdom. Hey, he gonna hurt. Hey, listen. If you lack melanin in your skin, he might say something that's gonna offend. Hey, this is my dog, Mr. Jack Foster. What's up, baby? Oh, wait.
How are you this evening, sir?
Yeah, can you talk?
Yeah, I can come a little closer. How you doing this evening?
Now you got your whole energy to change.
Yeah, well, thanks for the invitation, number one.
Okay.
It's good to be here, and I never have and never will have a problem in speaking wisdom, which I gained from just being on this earth as long as I've been here.
You're trying to be select and calm with your words. Huh?
Well, for now. For now.
Oh, so now you want me to the whole word? Let me take this off then. You just trying to be calm and cool with your words or something?
It's always calm before the storm.
Oh, okay. That's what this is. Well, let's go ahead and get to the storm then.
Well, fine. I ain't got no problem.
You with it already?
Well, I'm battle tested.
You battle tested, ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the problem a lot of our times in our communities, that we come ready to fight compared to ready to learn.
Well, I did a bunch of learning. Okay. Now I'm taking that learning and I'm utilizing that learning to fight the system. And a lot of the things that I got in my lifetime came from working in the work environment that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of things. I spent over 20 years in the corporate world. And in some instances, I was the spook who sat by the door.
When you say you spent a lot of years in the corporate world, is that what led you to Pine Bluff?
No. As a matter of fact, no, it didn't. We were in Illinois, and I moved from Illinois back to Little Rock, North Little Rock, as a matter of fact.
Well, but let me ask, before we go that far, where are you originally from?
Lake Village.
Lake Village, okay.
Born in Eudora, raised in Lake Village. My mom is still there. She's 95.
Amen.
And I lost my dad a few years ago, but she's still there. I got brothers down there and nieces and nephews. I have one aunt. She's there, so that's home. That's where I started.
Is that where you also started with the more? I want to say, I don't want to necessarily say activism, but I guess that's what we would have to call it, right? Activism.
My activism began when I moved to Pine Bluff.
Okay.
And let me give you the motivation behind that. When we moved to Pine Bluff, they had this big movement on to float a tax to redo the Sanger Theater. Okay? I hadn't been here that long, and by that time, I had became good friends with LeVert Blunt, who was a friend of mine. And we had a discussion about it, and I'm saying, why would we want to do a tax to fix the Sanger Theater, where back in the day we had to go in the side or in the back, okay? When we still jumping ditches over here on the west side of Pine Bluff. That don't make sense to me. So LeVert and I started our own little thing about trying to kill that tax. And I wrote a blistering editorial to the Pine Bluff Commercial. They printed it. And the tax did not pass. Okay? And I guess that's where it started, because when I came to college at A&M College back in 1967, after leaving Vietnam, it was a different environment for me because I was a student, okay? But when I moved back with my family, it kind of looked like the civil rights movement just skipped Pine Bluff. You know, we had all these black folks here, educated black people, and they were not really doing anything. They were just kind of going with the flow.
Do you feel like a lot of it was circumvented? Or not circumvented, but segmented, where one group of black people in Pine Bluff, they're more educated, whatnot, and then the other group of Pine Bluff, the more blue-collar group, are kind of disconnected? And is that why it kind of felt that way?
Well, it kind of felt overall, and this is unbelievable, but then it's unbelievable too, but it appeared to me that the blue-collar people in this town and the people that had less were more involved in bringing about change than the educated blacks in this community.
Do you think that's still the case?
I think it is. I think that has not changed.
And we're still segmented?
Yes. And the deal is that at some point, I'm hoping that my people will wake up and say, look, it's about us. It is us. But we're not doing anything to help us. Okay, that's not happening. I look at around UAPB now. When I came here in '67, it was called Cedar Street then, and all up and down Cedar Street there were businesses.
What was called Cedar Street? University?
Yeah, it used to be Cedar. They
really?
Yeah, it was full of businesses.
I ain't never know that.
Yeah, full of businesses. You go out there now.
It's a ghost town.
That's right.
I think it's only maybe 2 or 3.
Where you got the liquor store.
Okay, when I say 2 or 3, let's say how many businesses that we own on that street.
Well, we don't own Dollar General, that's for sure.
We don't own the liquor stores.
No.
And at one point, all the businesses up there, I recall, where a lot of them were owned by us.
It was.
I think we own the barbershop still. We still may own Basco's, not Basco's, but Three Gables. Not Three Gables. Is that Three Gables? Cedar Cabin.
Well, that's Cedar Cabin gone. That's the green door you're talking about across the street.
No, I'm talking about further on up.
Oh, the Cedar Cap, it's still there. I don't know whether they still operate now,
Yeah,
but it's still
Bass's
there.
still on it. Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Well, you know, when that first opened, that was a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, little small building.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a restaurant. Used to be a 7-Eleven right down there by. But all that stuff is gone. Now, let me tell you something.
But because I want to ask you a question though. You came here in '67, and you after you left Vietnam, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I never knew you were in the military.
Yeah.
How long were you in the military?
3 years.
And then you went to Vietnam?
I went to Vietnam, yeah.
Oh, thank you for your service.
No, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I looked out for you. You still here.
I hope you still got your fighting shoes.
Well, that'll never go away. That'll never go away.
The way you've been treating some of these folks, they better not.
But look here, but let me say this before we go any further about AM&N College versus UAPB.
Mm-hmm.
That's two different schools.
Correct.
AM&N College and the students from that era were militant. I don't know whether a lot of people know this. When Dr. King was killed in '68 in April, they started burning Pine Bluff down. They brought the National Guard in. And if you were a student out there and you didn't live in Pine Bluff, you had to go back to your hometown. They locked up a bunch of blacks. They and I still chuckle about it every time. The old Holiday Inn, which is out there on Dollaway Road, right past where that tattoo shop and that curve right there, that motel right there. That used to be the Holiday Inn.
Oh, I think they changed. What was that? Where Picnickers was at?
I don't know.
Wasn't it like a restaurant in front of it?
Could have been. It's still there.
Mm-hmm. The Classic Inn.
It may be what it is.
Mm-hmm. Right across the street from the Heston Stadium.
Right.
Okay.
That's it. But anyway, back in the day during our time, they had one section back there that was dedicated to people of color. We couldn't go in the other parts. They had this one section that was designed for black folks. When Dr. King was murdered, that section for black folks there got burned down. A lot of people don't talk about that because let me tell you something. I don't care what you may think about him, but Lawrence A. Davis Sr., he fought going into the university system because he always spoke about the AM&N family, okay? And we consider ourselves to be a family. That's gone. That's not there no more. You know, back during that time, if you ran short of funds from out of town, you could go up and see President Davis and say, look, I need $20. He'd go in his pocket and give you $20 and you're on your way. And you ain't got to pay it back. That's gone. That's not there no more, okay? And what I'm saying is, because of the fact that during that time, most of the kids that were going to AM&N College came from a segregated high school. So they had a sense of who they were, okay? That's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. Integration, and I hate to say this, but I think integration did more to separate black folks than anything in the world.
And you know what, Mr. Foster, I have to agree with that. I think that integration is something that actually set us back.
It did.
I wholeheartedly agree. I feel like when we started going to their schools, when we started eating at their restaurants, they made us think that their ice was colder.
Mm-hmm.
They made us think their air was colder. They made us think theirs was better. And ever since then, we've been running to theirs instead of trying to build it up ourselves. And that, for me, is the plight of our community.
I agree. At the end of the day, when everybody get through talking, we are not only segmented, we're separated now.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things that separate us is a little money. Okay. If I got more money than the next guy over there, I feel I'm better than an individual. That's wrong. Okay. I just happen to have a little more money than you, but if I can help you, I'll help you. Okay. Back in the day when we were segregated, we helped each other.
Mm-hmm.
We shared with each other. We don't do that no more. We're all about self now. It's all about the dollar bill. Okay. And I don't like that.
I think Kanye West said it best. They took their chains off of us and chained their wealth to us, and now we're trying to chase that dollar, and where we forgot about our neighbor, and I think that's the biggest dilemma that we're facing in our community.
Never forget who you are and where you came from. The trials and tribulations I've had in Pine Bluff since we moved back here is, and I need to write a book because I went through some stuff because of the fact I was outspoken.
What do you think, since you've been in Pine Bluff, has been the most challenging thing that you personally have experienced?
On a personal level, being ostracized because of the fact that I have my own voice.
Sometimes it makes you feel like you're on an island by yourself.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
With the help of God, I make it. Because here's what my belief is about what I do. Somebody sitting high, looking low, which is God. And if you're out here trying to help his people, helping his people, he's taking note of that. Okay? And I feel like because of that, he's going to protect me. That's where my faith lies.
Amen.
Because, people said, aren't you afraid? Afraid of what? If you ain't God, I'm not scared of you. I'm sorry. Only person I fear is God. If you ain't God, you got a problem. That's where I am.
I commend you for that. And so when you find yourself on that island by yourself, how do you combat that? How do you try to find others do you find others who may agree with you, or do you try to illustrate the picture and paint it better so others can see your point of view? What do you do to get more people on your side, or to get more people on your island, or do you just stay calm being by yourself?
Well, I stay calm being by myself, but I continue doing what I'm doing. Okay, I don't have time to go back and look and say, well, I need to do X, Y, Z. What I do is continue to do what I've been doing ever since I've been in Pine Bluff, and that's about helping people. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you something. You may find this ironic. I was rolling along, and I was on the city council at this time, and a situation came up where the mayor fired a guy. He was a department head, and I liked the guy. He never did anything to me. I thought he was doing his job. And the mayor could never really tell me why he fired him, only because of the fact that he said that I have the authority to do it. But let me tell you what the deal was. And I think it hurt me to a certain extent. I did some research and found out that the mayor didn't have the authority to fire this guy. I went to bat for him. All 8 council members voted to put this guy back to work. Okay? But the ironic thing about it was the guy was not black. He was white.
Wow.
Okay?
And so now they see you going to bat for a white man.
I'm just about what's right. Okay? If Jack Foster's out here supporting white folks, he's going to become a point where he's going to be uncontrollable. We can't have that.
Right.
That's
now they're looking at, I see. Because now if you're supporting white people, they're saying, well, at some point you're going to be beloved by everyone.
Right. Not just my own people.
Right.
But by other races too. And at the end of the day, I think that's good. Because
Agreed.
I don't discriminate.
Because they want to see, if you get to that point, then will you become a man of the people?
Right. They didn't want that.
They didn't want that.
No.
Because they would have martyred you and made you bigger than what they could control.
Well, that's why they did what they did to me and sent me away.
So
they couldn't kill me.
So, okay, because I hold that point, let me say this. Hey, if you're looking at this broadcast right now, I need you to share this broadcast. This is the Real Underground Radio Station, baby. This Big Nate, this Nate Logic, the Real Underground Radio, baby. Make sure y'all share this right now for us. Hey, so when they sent you away, what was that about?
It was about a big lie. And a lot of people don't really know what that was all about.
Right, they just know you went to jail or went away. Let me say that.
Well, they said I was on the take, which was a lie.
Did they say, was it a bribery or something? What was that?
Supposedly, that's what it was. But let me explain something to the listening audience and the viewing audience about that whole thing. Is that I never asked anybody for one dime. Not one dime. Okay? And what happened is that they were so intent on setting me up. And that's what they actually did. As a matter of fact, when I went to trial, my attorney asked the people that gave me some money that was actually redirected elsewhere from me. Okay? Did I ever ask them for any monies? Now, if you bribing somebody, you got to ask for something.
Right.
I never asked for nothing. And the prosecutor at that time said in the courtroom that, well, you were being prosecuted not for what you did, but what could have happened.
So you never took any money?
No.
You never received any money?
I did, but it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you?
No.
Huh.
See, there's a story here that I don't want to go into right now,
right.
But when I went away, some other folks should have gone with me, and I'm going to leave that right there.
Oh, wait, baby.
Okay? And they know who they are.
That's on them, though.
I know. And at the end of the day, that's why, I'm going to tell you something funny happened to me when I came home. I was in Walmart one day.
Hold on. Because you know what you did, basically, what these young boys say, you took your lick.
Yeah, well, you know, it is what it is.
Hey, Jack, you took your lick, baby. You said, hey, listen, man, I ain't no snitch. I'm going to do what I got to do.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I took my lick.
Yeah.
So I respect you even more for that. Like, you took your lick.
You said I was guilty. I say I'm not guilty, but they found me guilty. So what's the result of that? I have to go away. I'm a real man. I can deal with that. The only thing I hated about it was I was away from family and friends.
How long was it?
About 2.5 years I was gone.
Oh, wait, baby. Jack took his... Hey, Jack should be in the Hall of Fame right there.
The bottom line at the end of the day when you get through talking is that for me doing that time wasn't really hard because what a lot of people don't know, for a year, I was the dietary manager at Pontiac Correctional Center in Illinois.
So you was eating good then?
Well, I was over the whole food service there. I was feeding over 3,000 inmates a day and 500 staff members.
But that's kind of what you started off and how you got back into Pine Bluff doing in the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
So give me a little background on that on your experience in the corporate world.
Well, believe it or not, I first got into the corporate world when I went to work for McDonald's in management in Illinois. Prior to that, I was driving 18-wheelers in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Hold on, around what time was this?
What town?
No, what time when you were driving 18-wheelers?
Early 70s.
Wow. So you've been ahead of the game for a while.
Yeah. Paid well, too. But anyway, it got to the point where I felt like, I'm better than this. I can do more than this. I'm not going to spend, because being a truck driver, after a while, works on the body. Jumping up and down kills your kidneys.
Right.
I got to get out of this. I got to do something different. So I went to work for McDonald's in restaurant management as a trainee in Aurora, Illinois. That's where I started. And I tell people all the time, I met Ray Kroc, who started McDonald's.
Right.
Met him personally. But anyway, I started there, and I went up the ranks from second assistant, first assistant store manager. I used to run a store in Chicago, right, not too far from Wrigley Field, right off Lakeshore Drive.
I know where you at.
Yeah, 40 North Broadway is where the store was. But anyway, okay. And all these other people that started out with me that didn't look like me were being promoted. Okay? That glass ceiling was in effect. And me, I said to my supervisor, I said, here's how this is going to go. I'm looking at all these ineffective people being promoted ahead of me. And I know they don't have the qualifications that I do. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do this. If I'm not promoted in 2 weeks, consider this my 2-week notice. I wasn't promoted in 2 weeks. I was gone.
So hold on, wait a minute. So you always had the type of machismo where you was, listen, you either going to do this or I'm finna move around.
That's right.
That took courage. You had a family at that time, am I correct?
I did.
So you was willing to throw it all. Not, I don't want to say throw it away, but you believed in yourself.
I stood up for what I believed in, and I thought what they were doing was wrong to me. Okay, wrong.
That says a lot about you.
So 2 weeks later, guess what I was doing? I was an area supervisor for Kentucky Fried Chicken in Chicago. I was over 12 stores.
Wow. So that you had already left McDonald's?
Yeah.
So you had this planned out already.
No.
Then.
When I left McDonald's, I didn't have a job. I wasn't even looking for a job. But I felt my credentials would work for me.
So you believed in yourself enough to stand up and say, I'm going to do something different if you don't give me what I'm worth.
If you're not going to promote me, in 2 weeks, I'm gone.
And then 2 weeks came?
I wasn't promoted. I was gone. I didn't go. I didn't show up no more. It was just that simple. I already told you. So we don't have to discuss that any longer.
There ain't nothing to talk about.
No. But let me tell you what's interesting about that. The guy who started training me in Aurora was a white guy. And if he was sitting in this chair right now, he will tell you Jack Foster is the best manager I have ever known for McDonald's.
Wow.
He'll tell you that. And I used to work for him. Okay? I knew my business. Okay, so I left there, went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then I decided I wanted to do something different. I needed some fresh air. So I got a divorce from my first wife. Well, I left and then I got a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did was I flew to New Orleans one day. Suppose I had gone to work, but I flew to New Orleans, interviewed to go back to work for McDonald's in New Orleans. They hired me. They said, when can you report? I told them. So fine. So I fly back that evening, and thing was just going along. And the day that I knew I had to leave, I just got up that morning and told my ex-wife, look, this marriage is over with. I'm done.
Hey, sunshine, I'm going to New Orleans.
I know. I didn't tell her where I was going.
Wait a minute.
Huh.
Time out, man.
What?
You said you just left.
I left.
Straight like that.
I told her that morning she was the office manager for the Girl Scouts downtown Chicago. She used to take the train into Chicago.
When you come home, I ain't going to be here.
That's exactly what I told her. This marriage is over. She laughed. Okay, fine.
Oh, y'all was going through.
So I left and headed to Arkansas. Stopped at my home in Lake Village. Got a lawyer and said I want a divorce. And continued on down to New Orleans.
Driving?
Yeah.
What was he driving? You remember?
It was old Ford. I don't know what year it was. But anyway, I get down there and I run into a problem. McDonald's used to be a franchise market, but they bought it from the guy who owned the franchise. I think his name was Hank Rye. Hank Rye was a racist redneck. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I got down there and saw how things were going, and some of the other black managers down there saw the same thing. So we came together. Guess who came down on our behalf? Jesse Jackson. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Okay? And they kind of cleaned their act up a little bit, but I said, I can't stay here. So what I did was I got an interview with Pizza Hut, and I had to fly to the D.C. area. Interviewed, got the job. I was going back into multi-unit supervision. So when I went to the D.C. area, I was over 6 Pizza Huts, and I eventually opened up a 7th. And stayed there for a while, a year and a half or so, and then they transferred me to Miami. I was over 5 stores in Miami. And I stayed there, and then a problem existed back home with the family business. So I came back to try to do some things to help out the family business. And I was just rolling along. Guy calls me one day and said, look, I got the guy who called me was a headhunter who had helped me get placed with
all these other positions that you have found.
No, just with Pizza Hut.
Okay.
He called me and said, look, he said, Jack, he says, I got a situation. I said, look, I'm out of the food industry. I'm tired. He said, Jack, you know I have placed you at Pizza Hut. I said, yeah. He said, you owe me.
I need this.
Yeah. He said, all I'm asking you to do is go down and interview with the guy, and that'll take care of me. I said, well, I'll do that for you. So in the meantime, I'm saying to myself, how do I get out of this, of not taking this job? Rather than just going down and looking around and saying, no, I don't want it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be real with the owner. What had happened it was in Natchez, Mississippi. What had happened was the owner of that store had all white managers, and the majority of the employees were black, and managers was treating them like they was on a big plantation.
Wow.
The NAACP was getting ready to boycott and shut them down. And he didn't want that money to stop coming. That's fine. I understand. So I go down. He tells me, da, 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 da. On my way down there, I'm thinking of all these things in my mind, what I can say to him to get out of taking that job. So I get down there, and we get to talking, and he give me a tour of the store, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, what do you think? I said, you got a problem. You got a major problem here. And I said, if you're not careful, the NAACP, they're going to shut you down. You got to do better. He said, well, that's why, I wanted you to come down and
take a looker.
Yeah. Give me your thoughts, da, 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 da. He said, you got a lot of food background. I said, yeah. He said, well, what do you think? I said, well, I can consider it. Let me say this. This was in 1980, maybe? Yeah, 80, I think it was. 80, 81, 80. So I said to myself, well, here's the deal. I can come down, but here's what it's going to cost you. He said, what it's going to cost me? I said, it's going to cost you $40,000 a year in salary.
Oh, wait, baby.
Yeah, a 10% annual bonus, payable in December. Okay. Housing. I want all of it. I want the full package. And I'm saying to myself, he ain't going to do all that.
You trying to price yourself out of this.
Right. So he tricked me. He said, when can you start?
Oh, wait. He said, no, come on.
Yeah. So I stayed in Natchez a couple of years.
Okay.
Until it got boring, and I left. And I eventually moved back to Lake Village for a minute. Then from there, I went to Dallas and went to work for another chain, Po Folks Restaurant. They used to have one in Little Rock.
Po Folks? That was the name of it?
Yeah, Po Folks. P.O. Folks.
White folks or black folks on this?
White.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was one of the owners. It was a franchise situation.
Oh, okay.
One of the owners was Burt Reynolds. I used to work for Burt Reynolds.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway, went to work for them at the store level as an assistant manager in Richardson, Texas. And then they was getting ready to open up a new store in Waco. So they appointed me the general manager, and I went down early to oversee the construction until it was built. And so I went down, and we got it built, and we hired staff and stuff, and da-da-da. And we opened up back then. I think they still open up probably doing close to $60,000 a week.
Ooh,
we were rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling back then. 60 a week.
Yeah. Well, it eventually fell off to about 45. And that's
yeah, that's still crumbs, huh?
Yeah. But anyway, stayed there for a while. And another franchisee I had met at a meeting had a franchise situation in Baton Rouge. And he was trying to lure me away to come down and be his director of operations. The money was right. Housing went with it. Brand new housing. Nobody had never stayed in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went to Baton Rouge. See, I'm a firm believer. I'm not trying to stay on one job to get a gold watch and a rocking chair. I'm going to go with the money.
Every time?
Yeah, I have to. So stayed down there for a while, and then come to find out that the franchisee owner down there wouldn't pay his franchise taxes. So he
lost his franchise.
He lost his franchise.
Okay.
At that point, I had met a gentleman down there in Baton Rouge when his name was Bob LeBlanc. And Bob LeBlanc had this new product he had brought by the store for me to sample. It was a bug spray. And I used it. It was amazing. And so after I didn't have a job then, I went back to Bob LeBlanc and I said, look, can you make me a wholesaler? Let me go somewhere else and try to market your product. And he agreed. So I went to Chicago with his product. Guess what the product was?
What's that?
Bengal roach spray.
What?
Yeah.
Man, see, that's not. So you was the person who had the big thing.
Well, no, I wasn't doing that.
You weren't doing it, but that's what the Bengal roach Hold on now. Was the bingo
in the red can with the big tiger on it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, him. I talked to him not long ago. I went down there, but he wasn't home. But yeah.
And didn't they have like the white stuff that you would put in the corners and stuff too?
No. All he had was a spray. And when you sprayed, if that was a roach, you'd know it because they come a running.
They getting up out of there.
Oh, yes, sir. But anyway, I took the product to Chicago. And I was working it. I worked with some housing authorities up there in apartment complexes and stuff, and kind of got the product out in the Chicago area and in northern Chicago, like Waukegan, North Chicago area. But anyway, so I was working on this deal with the Chicago Housing Authority to sell it to them. And I think during that time, if I had got the deal pulled through, it was probably a $2.5 to $3 million sale.
Oh, wow.
And what happened is that at that time, Harold Washington was the mayor of Chicago. And by the time I got all this pulled together to get it done, he was dead. He died. And they switched personnel around with the Chicago Housing Authority. So my deal went with that.
And that's so. All right. When did you make the? And before we go any further, I'm sorry. Let me say this. This is the Real Underground Radio Station. It's your boy Big Nate, baby. I need everybody that's tapped in with us right now to share this for me. Share this right now. Send it to your sister. Let her watch it. Send this to your auntie, your uncle, your little cousin, and put it on your baby's tablet too, because they can get this game. Hey, so when did you say, well, you know what, I'm going back to Pine Bluff?
After I left Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
After I got out of the spray business, because it went belly up, I missed that big sale. I went to work for the state of Illinois as dietary manager at Pontiac Correctional Center in Pontiac, Illinois. We lived in a little town out from Pontiac called Flanagan, Illinois. That's where they got Flanagan Boys School. Mm-hmm. We were the only black family in town. Our daughter Nakia was the only black kid in the school. And we lived right there by the school. So she used to walk. Didn't have to get on the street. She could walk through the backyard and walk straight to the school.
Now Nakia is the foster baby I went to school with, I believe. She graduated in
99.
Okay. So she's the one who used to drive to school in the little blue truck.
Maybe, I don't know.
The little blue Ford. You remember you used to have a blue Ford truck?
That was a Dodge.
Oh, okay, a blue Dodge truck.
So she stole my truck?
No, you used to bring her to school.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. But anyway, so I worked there for a year, and I'm not ashamed to say it, they forced me out. Because when you go to work for the state of Illinois, at that time, you was on a year's probation.
Right.
At the end of that year, if they didn't want to retain you, you're done.
Find something else.
Yeah, so what happened is that I got there, and the food was terrible. They were feeding those inmates slop. Now, the funny thing about it was I had 32 food supervisors, civilians, working under me, okay? 2 of them was black. 30 of them was white. And they hated my guts because they had never had a black dietary manager at that prison. So I go in and I start evaluating what's going on in the food. And I had to tell my food supervisor, look, if you're not prepared to eat this, you don't serve it to the inmates.
They ain't like that.
No.
So you've been standing up for folks for a minute.
Oh, yeah. So they took offense to it. But see, the deal was I had met a guy there, a black guy. He was a counselor. And I didn't really know a lot about the Illinois prison system, but he did. And he was telling me all the rights and stuff I had, and I did some reading. And I come to find out that in the Illinois system at that time, I don't know what it is now, even though I had a boss who was a warden, but the warden couldn't tell me what to do with the food department. Because the food department, they felt like could be a motivating factor for inmates. You make the food right for them. So I got in there, and once I figured that out, I remember one day I had a soul food meal. We had ham hocks and neck bones and greens.
Wait, baby.
Candy.
What time that start? Whoa. I'm sorry. I'm going back. You get to talking like that, I'm just sorry, man. I got to think about it.
Yeah, well, you think about it. If you're incarcerated
and you eating like that,
yeah,
you want to get locked up again. I want to go to jail. What's the name of that jail?
Pontiac Corrections.
What time they start serving it?
I don't know if they do that anymore.
Oh, wait, baby.
But what I did was, because the inmate population, it was majority black, and right behind that it was Hispanics. Okay?
So they got a taco night the next day.
Well, the next day was next week.
Man, you done made jail when they getting eating like kings up in there.
But what I did was, on top of that, when I found out the warden couldn't tell me what to do with the food program, I had carry-out trays. When we had special meals, they had an opportunity to take a meal back to the cell house with them.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
They eating better than folks in the free world.
And then it came down to the Jewish population. We had some Jews there, and we had special meal for them. And then when Ramadan came along,
yeah, special meals for the Muslims.
Yeah, and the brothers came to me and they said, Mr. Foster said, look, they ain't never really cooperated with us about Ramadan. They've been giving us problems, but we couldn't get lamb and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, we'll take care of that. What I did was I ordered leg of lamb for those brothers during Ramadan. Okay?
Wow.
And what happened was, this is kind of ironic, I went to a seminar down in Southern Illinois, down in Vienna. So I'm down there for a week, and I'm just walking around, and this guy come up and make him say, Mr. Foster. I said, yeah. He said, Larry want to see you. Larry who? Larry Hoover.
Uh-oh.
I said, where is he? He said, he works in the barbershop. So I go over. Sure enough, there he was. And he said, Mr. Foster, I heard about all the good things you're doing for the inmate population in Pontiac. Not just my people, but all the inmates. And I want you to know, I appreciate that. He says, now, if you have any problem with any of my folks, there's folks that will come to you and let you know who they are. If you got problems with somebody, you let them know, and we'll take care of that. It's okay. But I never had that problem. What happened was, one of his people tried to belittle me one day in the chow hall. And I didn't, just kind of walked away. But the next time I saw him, they had beat him. He got beat. They beat him. But this is kind of funny. I know one day I took my wife to work with me. And what I did was, she comes in, and we have a situation where I tell some inmates, I say, look, take my wife and give her a tour of the facility. I stayed in my office. They surrounded her. All these inmates surrounded her and took her on a tour of the food area. Period. Did nobody bother?
That's amazing. So let me ask you a question. So you started all of this type of movements where you caring for people and looking out for people. So you've always had this type of spirit. Am I correct?
I am. And it has not gone away. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of guilty of being inactive for a number of years. I've kind of sat on the sideline and watched some things happen in Pine Bluff that I knew was wrong, and I didn't step to the plate. I should have stepped to the plate.
Right.
And I'm there now.
You here now?
And then the bottom line is that being a former council member myself, we got some council members down there that need to go home.
Ooh-wee, baby. That's tough.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's what it is. I'm going to do everything I can next election cycle to get rid of Shaner and Lord Holcomb Jr.
Wow. Okay, because I don't want to make this a personal thing.
It's not personal.
Well, when I say when we say it from that perspective, you feel like though you want to get rid of what, in your opinion, is ineffective council members,
right?
Aldermen, correct?
Right.
And you feel that these two are ineffective?
What they are, they bought and paid for, in my opinion.
Okay, that's better. You feel like they're bought and paid for because they vote 100% along the lines of go forward.
Every time. And what I'm saying is, that can't be true. Sometimes go forward is wrong. Okay? But when it comes to these folks,
not in their eyes.
No, they're always right.
You
know, so right now we got, in my opinion, we got 2 Sambos and 2 Samboettes on the city council.
Yeah.
and they need to go
Yeah,
home.
you not. Didn't I tell you we're not finna be calling these folks Sambos and all that? That's not fair.
What you mean not fair?
Because they don't agree with your point, which your point don't make, because that's your point. Your opinion don't make it right, right?
That's right.
So,
and their vote don't make them right.
And their vote don't make them, well, their vote don't make them wrong either.
Yes, it does.
They just a difference of opinion.
When you don't represent the people who sent you there, you're wrong.
But how are they voting against their constituents? If they're voting against their constituents, it wouldn't matter what you say. They folks gonna get them up out of there. Ain't that what happens?
Well, that's we're gonna start now.
So you're gonna tell their constituents.
I'm planting this seed now. They need to go.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Let me say this before I go any further. Is that I'm not gonna sit idly by and watch low to moderate income people not get nothing out of what's going on with that Go Forward initiative.
Okay.
Because in my estimation and in my opinion, I think Go Forward is a big conspiracy. There's a conspiracy between Go Forward people and some members of the city council and the mayor. And she needs to go too. Because anytime somebody has as much education as she does, and is irrational as she is, something wrong with her.
There's something somewhere.
Yeah, she needs a therapist.
Come on now.
I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you, if you are an educated individual and you make an irrational decision, something is wrong with you. You need a therapist.
Well, I have to disagree with you
on
this because, and before we go any further, everybody should know that I am pro Go Forward.
That's right. Well, you know,
I'll say that.
Yeah.
And you're not pro Go Forward, but what I don't want it to become is a debate between me and you.
It's not a debate between. I'm pro people.
Okay. And I'm not.
No, you're not. You pro Go Forward.
Okay. All right.
You follow what I'm saying?
All right.
And Go Forward has exemplified they are not about helping people. Let me say something about Go Forward. You don't have to agree with this. Have you ever thought about why they're doing all that work downtown Pine Bluff? Have you ever thought about that? The majority of their effort is downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why?
Why?
Think about it for a minute. That this big old, the tallest building in Pine Bluff belongs to who?
To Simmons.
Thank you. Now, if you own property and all the property around you is in disarray, right? What does that do to your property value?
It draws it down.
Right. Now, but if you improve everything around you,
it improves.
Thank you.
So let me ask you a small question. What do you think that building is worth? The actual value on that building?
$10.
$10. Okay. So we're talking about Simmons First, which is a $1 billion business.
I think last quarter their net worth was $27 billion.
So you're concerned that we're talking about a $27 billion business trying to get over on Pine Bluff, and that one little building. Think about this now. Just think. The building probably worth $2 million max, but this is a $27 billion business, and they concerned in trying to get over for a $2 million building.
Let me tell you something, partner.
They're gonna risk all of their network, all their business for $2 million when they worth $27 billion. Just think about that.
Oh, they're not putting anything up.
No, but you're saying it's a conspiracy.
It is a conspiracy.
And you're saying this $27 billion business is willing to risk all it has achieved, its whole business for $2 million for a $2 million business.
Let me say something.
That's a lot.
And I said it at a council meeting about Go Forward Pine Bluff. Go Forward Pine Bluff is a racist organization. And let me tell you why I say that. You don't have to agree with me, and you probably won't. But you think about this for a minute. And J.C. Jeffers put it best when he was on the council. He said he got sick and tired of white folks going in the kitchen, putting together a recipe without us back there, and then come back out and tell us to eat. That's what Go Forward did. Wasn't no black folks back there in the planning stages of Go Forward. They came out after they had already decided how they were going to do it. You pro Go Forward. Was you back there when they put the plan together?
I remember.
No.
Hold on. Let me.
No.
You asked me a question. Can I answer?
Yeah, yes or no?
Let me know.
You don't have to elaborate.
Greg Stepps was.
Who?
Greg. So there was
Who
an
the hell
article.
is Greg Stepps?
Mr. Stepps.
George Stepps?
Yeah, George Stepps.
No, George wasn't back there.
Well, let me elaborate.
So he came
Can
to
I
the meeting
elaborate?
after the meeting.
Can I elaborate?
Yeah, go
My
ahead.
hands up.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
gonna start raising my hand with you, Mr. Foster.
That's right.
You ain't finna run me over.
That way I'll recognize you.
Hey, so listen. What if I told you at one point Mr. Stepps wrote an article in Pine Bluff about a tax that would benefit the city?
I don't doubt that.
So I was thinking about that because I vaguely recall that article, and I have to look it up and find it. But that was, to me, was like, and it kind of mirrored or planted the seed. I'm willing to bet you, if we went back and talked to old George Marcus, what is it, George Marcus?
Marcus?
Whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I've never met the gentleman. I'm pretty sure he's a great guy. I don't know him from
He's
a
what?
I said I'm pretty sure he's a great gentleman.
How you know?
I don't know.
You never met him, so how would you know?
Well,
who told you that?
Well,
somebody to tell you that, right? I understand.
Here we go again.
I'm just saying.
Here we go again.
Well, somebody to tell you that if you ain't never met him.
I ain't never met him,
so somebody to tell you that.
We got a $27 billion business. One thing I really think about the Go For It program is I look at the fruit. I look at the things they have done. And I have to, as many people want to say they didn't do, we have to look at the fruit.
What's fruit?
So
all the fruit they put out there is spoiled.
Okay, so the people who were trying
we want fresh fruit.
Okay, so they got 38 teachers certified.
That ain't had nothing to do with the city of Pine Bluff.
Didn't have nothing to do with the city of Pine Bluff. None of the funds were used.
You can't use public dollars for that.
Okay, so none of those funds from the Go For It Pine Bluff funded for those teachers to be taxed.
No.
To get that certification?
Can't do that. And Ryan will tell you that.
Okay, so that wasn't true.
No.
Okay. So for the Alice program, did they Go For It have anything to do with, I believe, almost 30 new homeowners through that program?
That's urban renewal.
That's not Go For It Pine Bluff?
No.
Okay.
Let me clarify something.
Okay, so
no, before we go any further.
Because here's what you're doing.
Before we go any further. Let me clarify something. Go Forward Pine Bluff is not a city agency. It's a private non-profit group. Great. That's what it is. They don't have no clout. But let me tell you what, they're slick. Tell you what they did. They created this thing, and I'm just going to show you now. You're a smart man. I'm going to give you credit. You're smart. Now you think
hold on. Say that one more time.
You're a smart man.
How smart?
Not as smart as me, but you're smart.
You're right. But if I had your years, I'd probably be as smart.
That's right. And that's why I'm smart. Okay?
Okay. You got more years in the game.
That's right. Let me say this. When Go Forward came along, and I didn't bring the document with me, and that's why I'm saying that it is a conspiracy. Let me explain that to you. When they came along and they did this public-private partnership that you know about, part of the mission of that was to ensure that 5/8 cent tax was spent on Go Forward initiatives. Period. Now, what we voted on the ballot didn't say nothing about Go Forward. Nothing. It was just a general sales tax. Ryan Watley will tell you that. You have to ask him. He ain't a volunteer, but he will tell you that's not a Go Forward tax. That is a general sales tax. Okay?
So it was a general sales tax. So now what do we do with that general sales tax?
But we give it back to the people.
We give it back to the people. So building the aquatic center, that wasn't for the people?
Yeah, that was. But that was Carl Reedus' project.
But so let's say Carl Reedus' project, it was his project. We agree with that.
Yeah.
How many years has Carl Reedus been out of office?
I don't know. That's not relevant.
No. Well, no, if he started the program,
I know
right?
That's not relevant. The deal is that they had a false show. They had a false show in funds.
Well, hold on, because I agree. I understand what you're saying, but my question to you is this: that was Carl Reedus' program,
right?
Carl Reedus was out of office probably about 10 years before the Aquatic Center got built.
I don't know if that's true. Let me see.
No. We had 2 years under
maybe 8 years.
We had 2 terms under Miss Debbie. What was
She had one.
She had one?
4 years.
4 years. Okay, and then we had 2 years, 2 terms under Miss Shirley, Miss Washington.
Unfortunately, yes.
No, I'm not gonna say unfortunately. I love Miss Washington.
Well, that's
so
good.
I'm not gonna let you disparage.
Now,
Miss Washington, like you, has a connection with my family as well. You know that.
That's fine. I ain't got no problem with that.
So we want to make sure we all family.
It's all good. Yeah, we're family. But family ain't no good unless family can talk about family.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
You can't do that.
I got some scoundrels in my family, but I talk to them all the time.
I understand. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. But so we're looking at about 18 years before. So what happened? Why the Aquatic Center? Because if the Aquatic Center...
Let me tell you what happened.
Hold on. If the Aquatic Center, Merle Community Center, all these things could have been completed before Go Forward, we wouldn't have needed Go Forward.
Well, here's what I think happened. On the Aquatic Center, because of the fact that they didn't break ground right away, the cost of it went up. As years go by, the cost of it goes up. Now, when Shirley came along and they decided we're going to do this, they got the money to do it. But guess where the money came from? Do you know?
From the hamburger tax
No.
from Carl Reedus.
No.
Where'd it come from?
Simmons Bank. They got a loan for $4 million. And they paying it back now at the rate of $1 million or so every so often. That's where the money came from.
So do you have anything to confirm that that's the rate that they're paying at? So you're saying they bought a $4 million loan
From Simmons.
From Simmons, right?
Yeah.
And they paying $1 million, so they paying $5 million. So what's the rate on that? Do the math on that.
I don't know.
So you say that? So you're speculating?
No, not speculating. I know
what's the rate on the loan?
I don't know what the rate is.
So how can you say it was $1 million in?
Because I know what.
What's the rate then?
I know what the rate pay. I know what the note is.
Okay, what's the note? How much is the monthly
over $1 million
payment?
every time they pay. So they should be through paying for it pretty soon.
I'm just curious. Did they get it at bad credit? Like 17%? I know what 17% on $1 million is. On $4 million is. What was the rate? You say they're paying about $1 million over. Then what's the rate? The city got bad credit.
No, they don't have bad credit.
Do the city got? Is the city? Did the city go get a Carmart loan?
I don't think so.
Okay, where did they get it from?
If they got it from Simmons, and if Simmons is a
they got a buy here, pay here loan.
And Simmons started in that community.
I'm just saying, did the city get a buy here, pay here loan?
I don't know.
Did they get a payday loan?
Ain't no telling.
Then how you gonna sit here and down something you don't know something about?
Well, look here.
I'm just asking.
No, I'm not.
You're a studied man.
No,
come on now, Mr.
What I'm saying is they are paying them back at the rate of $1 million a year.
Okay, so they got let's do the math then. $4 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many years was his loan?
I don't know. If they paying back that $1 million, I'm figuring they no more than 4 years.
So, at what rate? So did Simmons just front them the money? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Ask Ryan Watley.
I mean, you.
No. Ask your buddy.
That's your op.
Ask your buddy. That's your buddy.
That's my dog. I mean, I know. I'm asking you. You're the one who against it. So did
look here. I'm not. I don't run Go Forward.
So did Go Forward get a loan?
For the Aquatic Center.
Did they get the loan for the Aquatic Center?
Yes.
At what rate?
I don't know.
The question.
I don't know what.
Can we table that question?
Look here. Whatever the rate is, don't matter.
It do.
What I'm saying is let me tell you something about Go Forward and what I've noticed.
Well, before you say that, let me say this. If they wouldn't have had that money up front to get that money to build the Aquatic Center, then we wouldn't have had the Aquatic Center now.
There was some funding there for it.
But was it enough?
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
Right.
Hold on. It wasn't enough up front. Oh, yeah. It wasn't enough. So would you have preferred for them to wait or to get a loan to get the money built and pay back that money at what rate?
Well, let me
now, my question to you is,
yes, sir.
Are we paying this money back at a Carmart loan, 17.9%? Are we paying this money back like we didn't went and got a good loan from the doggone me, from our credit union or something? Or did Simmons say, hey, Pine Bluff, we love you. You come get this money for free?
No,
Or was it even Simmons who loaned us that money?
It was Simmons.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
You got the paperwork to say it was Simmons?
I might.
Show me some money. Show me the paperwork. Did Simmons loan us that money? And then at what rate did Simmons loan us that money?
I don't know the rate.
You don't know. So how can you speak on something you don't know?
I'm not speaking on the rate.
Okay. You're not speaking on the rate?
No.
So we paying $1 million
To be
back?
perfectly honest, I could care less what the rate is.
Okay.
Because
but do you see the logic behind?
If Simmons was a good citizen, they wouldn't have charged no interest at all.
I could see that. Because if they care about Pine Bluff like they say, they would have said. But then, so basically,
Simmons started in that city.
So basically, Simmons should have just gave $4 million and said, "Hey, we don't even want no money off this."
No. Just give us the $4 million. We'll pay you back with no interest.
No money.
You don't need to make money.
Who facilitated?
They got $27 billion, and that $27 billion was for 1 quarter.
But you just said they got $27 billion and they trying to get over on a $2 million bill.
Look here, they want to spend taxpayers' money.
I'm asking you.
They don't want to spend their money. Let me say something to you, and he can't deny this. Tommy May, who I think, the whisperer, I think.
Don't do that, Mr. Fox.
Hey, I'm just calling it what it is.
Yeah, man, the man's. That's not fair. That's not fair.
What's not fair?
Don't be disrespectful.
Let me tell you something. Nothing happens to an individual unless the Lord ordained. Remember
but you don't have
to.
Give him a little. Can you give him a little grace?
I can.
Let's not call him man. Right?
I didn't call him.
I'll go with. Let's give him a little grace.
I apologize. I apologize, Tommy.
Hey man, we don't. My dog.
It's all good.
Hey, oh yeah, it's all love. One thing for sure, two things for sure. We gonna laugh. He called the man the whisperer.
Look at here.
I want you to know, I got you.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Paperwork party. It's the paperwork party. Talk to me, Mr. Foster.
Let me tell you something about Tommy May.
God, come on now, because
this is real, and I hope you can appreciate what I'm going to say.
I hope it's something nice.
It is. Everything I do is nice. Some years ago, the building where the generator is now, you know where it is, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's adjacent to the big bank.
What, hold on. How did we get the generator? Who paid for that? Did the city have to buy the generator?
No.
Did Simmons first donate the generator?
I guess to go forward, I guess.
That ain't good?
What ain't good?
That ain't good that they donated the generator?
It ain't ours.
How come it ain't?
It's not ours.
But I'm saying they donated it to the city.
No.
They donated it to Go Forward.
Right.
Which Go Forward uses for the greater good of the city. Did you
hold on. Let me talk about greater good. Do you know how much money they get for the generator from the city?
How much?
About $400,000 a year.
But don't they facilitate programming for the city?
What programming?
I just seen a full of second graders the other day.
Doing what?
Learning something.
Doing what?
You know what you do a lot of?
Were they painting Easter eggs or what?
No, they were learning some business or something. I don't know the specifics on the program.
Okay. So if you don't have specifics, you can't speak to it.
Oh. Doggone it, Mr. Foster. You can't use my same words on me.
No, wait. You know, this your show.
I don't know the specifics, but I seen the pictures of them babies in the generator.
Well, they
were just in there taking pictures.
Do you understand marketing?
Y'all come in here and take these pictures. We ain't gonna do nothing, but y'all just gonna take the pictures. That's what they
was
doing.
Photo op.
They wasn't doing nothing in there.
Probably not.
Boy, what I'm gonna do with you, man? Show me some numbers, man, because we ain't got much time. I know I got some other. You folks talking?
I highlighted it for you.
Uh-oh.
See where it says aquatic center, that 1 million something?
Year to date. So this is the budget performance report. I want the folks to see it. Now, if y'all go look at this budget performance report. On this budget performance report, he's saying what they're paying back yearly for the aquatic center.
Yeah.
$1,072,696. I mean, $1,072,696. And they almost paid it off.
Can I have my paper back? You should have had that.
So hold on, I did. Let me see if I can do the math on that. So I need to get this kind of loan.
You say you should have had that one.
So they paid. So this loan, they basically paid this loan off or paying it off. Doing the math. Hold on, because I'm good at math.
Are you?
When it comes to money,
math and money is two different things.
Well, all right, baby, look here. I know how to weigh food and count money real good.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Foster, I think you might want to take a look at this. That ain't no bad loan.
I didn't say it was a bad loan.
But you said it wasn't a good loan.
No. What I'm saying is...
So they basically got a $4 million loan at 3.7.
Whatever.
Man, I need that. Let me get that.
You can't get that.
So could the city of Pine Bluff get it without Go Forward?
I don't know. They could. They should be able to.
Go Forward got them folks to give them $4 million at 3.7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Man, you can't. I need to go see if I can get that.
Can I get that?
No, I don't trust this.
You know?
I need to make sure that number right, because if that number right, Mr. Foster, I really don't see what the problem is.
I didn't say that was the problem. Did I say that was the problem?
Yes, you did.
What did I say the problem was? What was the problem?
You said they should have got it at 0%.
They should have.
They should have just gave it to the city.
But see, here's the thing that you ain't talking about, that you ought to be talking about.
You see how you just want to gloss over that?
Yeah, see them numbers back there that Go Forward put in there? Now let me say something to you. You're a smart man and you know man. Why should I believe those numbers? Do you see anywhere on there where that has been audited by a CPA? You can make numbers be what you want them to be. It has not been audited.
But it does have.
So as far as I'm concerned, I can use that for toilet tissue.
So here's something else I know about business, Mr. Foster. It has the seal on it.
That's the city's part.
Okay, so if it has the seal on it, that means this is representation. It has to be accurate.
No. That's the public. That's the public money.
Okay.
I'm talking about Go Forward's money.
You wanted to
in the yellow back here.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
That yellow part right there at the top.
Yeah, all that yellow stuff is Go Forward stuff.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
What we got here? I'm gonna put my good eye on it. This the private funding, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got one of those. You was at the meeting.
Yeah.
Right, you didn't review it?
Yeah, I did.
You got it?
So basically, here's where we are. Private side money has been so they've been able to amass 2.1, almost 2.2 million in private funding.
Okay. How much were they supposed to do?
I don't know. How
20 million.
Over 3 years? They were supposed to get 20 million
over the period of time of the public tax.
So they were supposed to get 20 million over that port. Okay, I see. So that, and you're saying because they didn't come up with that 20 million from the private side, but they did get 2.2 million.
That's only 10%.
So we're gonna discount that.
Yeah.
Okay. Why couldn't we not?
They're non-performers. Go Forward is a non-performing organization.
So basically, you're saying because they couldn't get the full private funding of 20 million.
That's what they said they were going to do.
What did they say they were going to do that at?
Oh, it's everywhere.
They said they were going to raise 20 million in private funding.
Look here.
So the goal was 45 million. Correct?
Yeah, if you count the public dollars.
Right. So basically what you're saying, the 25 million the city already raised, plus the 20 million from private funding. I'm just asking where that's at. What you showing me now?
Down there. Let me see. Let me highlight it because I know you got by it outside.
Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you, Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster, we finna go.
You can't go nowhere yet.
Are you finna hold me hostage?
You holding me hostage.
Oh, hell.
You see what's highlighted in yellow? Oh, Lord. No, we ain't finna go nowhere.
Whereas significant private investment has been promised.
Thank you. Promised.
But does it say how much?
It's in the other documents. 20 million in other documents.
So it was already promised to get 20 million.
20 million.
Okay. That's what the other. Can I go home and look that up on that document?
Yeah.
Or can you better yet send it to me?
I'm not your secretary.
Mr. Foster, I just want to see.
Well, no,
I just want to see what these folks said. 20 million. They were gonna get 20 million.
Go forward, man. Go forward and get it.
Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can find it.
But let me say something to you. And yes, I oppose the tax. Okay, so does the NAACP. So does Acorn.
When did Acorn get on board?
A few weeks ago.
Okay.
Now, Acorn represents low to moderate income people. Okay, and if they're saying that tax ain't no good, we need to ride with them. Okay, that's where I am. Okay, what has Go Forward done to help low to moderate income people? Zero. All they've done is put all that money downtown. Period. And they still putting it downtown. Okay, what have they done out around UAPB? Nada. They've done nothing. Nothing. But what they did was they didn't have a problem going there getting some of the big wigs at UAPB and putting them on their pillars to make them look good. But they ain't doing nothing to help that universe and the area around it. That's an eyesore, and it shouldn't be that way. Okay? Ryan is a graduate of there and worked there. Who the hell he think he is to neglect UAPB? I'm sorry. I'm not going out like that. I'm not going to do it.
I can appreciate that.
Okay, that's why I call him a Sambo.
I ain't gonna don't let you call my dog no Sambo though. Yes. Well, you cold blooded, Mr.
Well, I ain't never watched this show. I watched it all the way here.
You call my boy Sambo.
Yeah, he is. He don't represent us.
I disagree with that.
He was in the movie.
I disagree with everything you're saying. I'm not gonna let you call him a Sambo because I know for a fact. That dude do care about Palm Bluff. He loves Palm Bluff. But this ain't even got nothing to do with it.
He's Steven. You got choices. I'm going to give you choices.
Mr. Foster, see, the problem is that you're making it about Ryan. It ain't got shit to do with Ryan.
Ryan is the black face the white folks put out there for us. Admit to it. That's the bottom line. They needed a black face.
There's a lot of black folks on that board.
Who?
Ryan, matter of fact, Ryan not even on the board. So you talking about Walden?
Yeah, he is.
You talking about Miss Washington? All these
Miss Washington ain't on the board.
Yes, she's not on the board, but she's on the planning committee.
The public-private partnership deal.
Yeah.
All right. Now let me tell you something about that. Just something about that. Her and Glenn Sambo Jr. are on the public-private committee.
What?
Okay? That's where things go to that committee. They decide whether they're going to do them or not, right?
Right.
But guess what happens? The mayor can sit there and Glenn Jr. can sit there and say, okay, let's do this. Let's send it to the city council. But guess what happens when they get to the city council? They both got a vote over there too. That's a conflict.
That's not a conflict.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's not a conflict.
You don't know what conflict is.
So here's why that's not a conflict.
No.
No, because just let me explain why it's not a conflict. Because they don't, excuse me, just because it's like anyone having any type of being on, say for instance, they on the board for the Waterworks Committee. They can vote, they can make plans on the committee and then go back to the alderman board and vote on something. Mm-mm. So it's it is. It's not. It's the same concept. That is the same concept. So that's not. That's like you being at.
I love you to death. What have you been elected to?
Who, me?
No, you.
Me?
Yeah, you.
No.
Then there you go. There you go. I rest my case.
If I run for something, you gonna support me?
Yeah, I will.
100%.
Will you run against Lord Holcomb Jr.?
I don't stay in that area.
Where you live?
I'm gonna run against your boy.
Who? I don't have a boy. I don't fool with boys.
So I'm gonna run against your homeboy.
My boy 20 years old. That's my son. I don't fool with boys.
Who is your? Stop picking on Ryan for Ryan. You have to grab hold of your 20-year-old son.
No. I got one older than him in town.
Hey, Mr. Foster, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed. Man, we ain't got all day.
It's not all day. You invited me up here.
Now you got.
I got something I want to say.
Bobby Lowe be tripping about me being late.
He is 30 minutes.
Where you going?
Oh, come on. You heard him. Bobby Lowe don't want to make Big Dog mad.
Bobby ain't running nothing up in here. you told me.
That's
you
Bobby Ruffin.
Huh? You've been picking on Nate and I've been in full support.
Hey, so Mr. Foster, before we get out of here, because we do got
No.
Go ahead.
Let me say something. Oh, you said something about it earlier. about the Alice program. And I need to go on the record. There's some strange, funky stuff going on with the Alice program. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, Ryan Watley owns 8 pieces of property in the Alice program. Hold, let me finish. And he got all that property before they even announced there was an Alice program. To me, that's insider trading.
That is not true. You want to know who else owns some shit over there?
Who? You do?
Yes.
You're not the CEO.
But guess what? Here's the other part to that too, Mr. Foster.
What?
Because this the Alice program, is he making the determination who buys what house?
No.
Hold on. He is or he is not making the determination to who buys what house?
He might.
Yes or no?
He might.
He might.
He might.
No,
I'm
ain't
not
no
sure.
might.
I'm not sure.
Is he saying, hey, you go buy this house that I own?
No.
Yes or no?
No, he said
so
that.
what we talking about then?
What I'm talking about is that
You-
what would be your motivation to go buy a bunch of property, and a bunch of it dilapidated, need to be torn down. He's a slum landlord as far as I'm concerned.
Have you been inside any of these houses?
Well, I talked to one of his tenants, and they said it's raining in the house. So you tell me what time.
So
it is.
you so did you report it accordingly?
I'm not gonna report it.
Why not?
I'm not.
So you okay with that type of stuff then?
That's the tenant's job to report it.
Did you show the tenant how to report it? Is he say, she say, get out of here, Mr. Foster?
No, he say, she say.
I hope don't nobody report my house over there.
But let me say something to you.
If you report my house over there, I'm reporting you.
The voting public in Pine Bluff needs to know that there's some funky stuff going on with real estate.
You know, I'm not going to let you put out that dirty ass rumor. Because
Ain't no
that's
rumor.
not true.
That's
You
not
just
true.
said you don't know any truth to that. Do you know which Alice home that he owned? Did he say, hey, Alice person, come buy this house?
No.
So what is you talking about?
Well, you have
That's
to,
not a fair statement.
Oh. Let me say this to you. Did you know?
You knocking on that desk like that.
This ain't no desk. This is a 2x4 or something. Piece of plywood, whatever. Check this out.
But dirty respecting your stuff, man.
Check this. Ryan Watley owns 10 or 11 lots in Winter's Place. Hold, let me finish. Do you know what Winter's Place is? Do you know where Keitra Burrell lives?
Who?
Keitra Burrell, Dr. Burrell?
No. Is that in the Alice program?
No, it's outside.
So now we talking about what he owned?
Let me finish. You jump to conclusions. That property, guess who financed it for him? Guess who holds the mortgage?
Simmons, probably.
You're right.
So Simmons, guess who else?
No. That's their boy. That's their golden one. That's their Steve. They're going to take care of him.
Hold on. So Simmons owned the mortgage on my stuff too.
Well, fine. You're not the CEO.
So we're talking about a $27 billion business.
Why do you keep talking $27 billion?
Because that's
not relevant.
Yes, it is relevant.
So who? You?
Here's why it's relevant. Because you're saying these billion-dollar industry business is going to put themselves at risk for $100,000, $50,000, $20,000 business.
They might.
Because what you're saying, Mr. Foster, can get somebody put in prison.
Well,
is that fair?
That may be
yes or no?
That may be what needs
yes
to
or
happen.
no? Is that fair? Yes or no?
I don't know. So
you know why you say this stuff?
Why?
You say this stuff with this half-ass inaccurate stuff to sensationalize somebody's
Don't
emotion.
say what I'm saying is half-ass, because you have no way of knowing that. You have no way of knowing that. You do that to somebody else. You do that to Bobby Lowe. You don't do that to me.
That's damn sure who I'm going to do it to.
The bottom line is that don't come to me like that.
Okay, I apologize.
All right, don't come to me like that. What I'm saying to you, anything I say to you, I got paper to back it up.
Okay.
Now you tell
I'm
me.
I'm asking you though.
Hold, let me finish. You tell me why the mayor's son, who used to own Skateland,
He don't own it no more?
I heard he sold it.
Okay, I don't know.
But he owns almost $900,000 worth of real estate in Pine Bluff.
Damn.
Okay.
You know his number? I need to get in and figure this out.
Now,
I just want 100,000.
Oh, but listen to this. The other week, they had a meeting. The city of Pine Bluff officials had a meeting in Little Rock about creating a land bank. Guess who was setting up in there?
Mr. Foster, guess who else was at that meeting?
Were you there?
I can show you the text.
Okay.
I'm next. Mr. Foster,
was the mayor's son there?
No, not at this one.
Yes, he was.
He don't own it. You know my dad, the man that you good friends with. You know where his property was at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Don't you? And that's right around the corner from the mayor's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I say all that to say this: everything that you're accusing Ron and all these other folks are. The reality of it is, Mr. Foster, people understand business are trying to get in line too. No. And none of these things are illegal, what you're accusing people of. You're only speaking on it because...
No, there's people getting in line want to get on that titty too. I don't understand that.
Hey, when you... Why
I don't roll like that.
So you're saying... So hold on. So because Simmons is over Go For It Pine Bluff.
I was raised on titty milk.
So what you're saying...
You heard what he said.
I'm trying to figure that out.
He told you. Straight like it is.
I'm trying to figure that one out.
He was raised on titty milk, man.
So you're saying, since Go For It Pine Bluff is he showed good. Simmons is basically funding or working with Pine Bluff for Go For It Pine Bluff, correct?
Something like that.
So you're saying basically now because of that, it's unethical to do any business with Simmons, right?
I'm not saying it's wrong, but it may be unethical based on what Ryan's position is. You got to buy that.
Okay, I see your point. I think it's a reach. I disagree.
No, it's not a reach.
Okay,
it's not a reach.
Okay, it's not a reach. All right,
it's not. I
disagree, and that's something that someone else would have to discuss. And if they'll make that decision. If that man can get in trouble for it, which I'm sure 100% he can't.
You don't know that to be 100. Where you get that number from?
Man, you think these folks gonna let that boy get away with that stuff? You know better. You know from firsthand experience.
I'm telling you.
If it's a way to get a brother up out of there, they're gonna do it. You know that.
Well, they got rid of Sam Glover, didn't they?
Man, you finna go.
They got rid of Sam Glover.
You finna go, man. You not finna
he was their boy
until
the heat got put on him, and when the heat got put on him, he's out of the door.
Listen, Sam is.
That's like another department head. The mayor told me either you resign, or I'm gonna fire you. So she resigned under duress.
You don't play fair. You know that.
I call it the way that I see it.
You don't play fair.
I do play fair.
I've thoroughly enjoyed you.
Well,
any parting words?
Huh?
Any parting words?
This program was too short. I didn't get a chance to get everything out that I needed to get out.
We've been on here an hour and 22 minutes.
Ryan was out here longer than that.
I tell you what, you want to stay a little longer.
Ryan was on here a little longer because we wasn't on last week.
But that ain't my problem.
We gotta cut you off this week, man.
Well, Mr. Foster, I'm here
now.
I will say this, Mr. Foster. If you stay, I'm going to bring them on. And it's going to go way left now.
No, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
Mr. Foster already said I cuss too much.
You do?
Yeah, and then you know what, Mr. Foster? I can't deal with you and him.
What about it?
I couldn't deal with you and him at the same time. I had to shoot one of y'all.
Well, he from Mariana.
They just not making good.
And he from Mariana?
No.
Where you from?
LaGrange.
No, he from Mariana.
I'm from LaGrange.
I'm from Mariana.
He from Luxor.
I was over there the other week. I went to Bilbo's funeral.
Really? Did you know Bilbo?
Yeah, we went to school together.
Really? Mm-hmm. Man, small world, baby. Hey, Mr. Any parting words before we get out of here?
Vote no on this go forward tax. It's not for the people, it's for the rich folks. The poor folks going to be paying what the rich folks want to do. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Foster, I want to
hardly back up that statement.
Mr. Foster, I very, very much appreciate you coming on here. I have a high level of reverence for you, and I'm grateful for you spending time with us coming on here. You know, my door always open for you, and I don't want nobody to take our conversation as me not respecting you. And, you know, like you told me, like we've always said, you and my father had a good relationship, and I look forward to keeping that relationship. I'm good friends with your daughters, you know.
And my daughters, they fight.
Well, look here, Mr. Foster.
And shoot.
Mr. Foster, I want you to understand something. You see my big friend right here?
Which one?
He don't want me to see me upset.
I want to see you beat up. I want to see you beat up.
Hey.
Take him with you, Mr. Foster.
He's friends with my daughters, too.
I'm better friends.
And I won't know you.
How you know that? Prove it.
You're not.
Let me call Ella right now.
Call
Hey, Mr. Foster, man. Hey, we so appreciate you for coming on here. Hey.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We're going to get you back after y'all go for a win.
Ain't gonna be no win.
Oh, wait, baby. It's your boy Big Nate, the Real Underground Radio Station. Hey, I got the 870 show coming up. I got Bobby Lowe, and I got Paid Thoughts in the building tonight. I got my dog DP.
You keep drinking that Dizzle.
I got my dog.
I don't know what the hell.
All y'all do is sit up here and get drunk.
I got my dog DP in here.
Y'all.
Hey, the 870 show coming up. Hey, Billionaire Bobby in the building. We got something to talk about too, don't we? Quite a few things. I got Paid Thoughts. I got Iceman Matty in this thing tonight too, man. Hey, this your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station.